Hello students, welcome again. Students, in today's lecture, we want to discuss psychoanalytic criticism. See, as the students of literature, when we try to understand a work of art, when we try to understand the text, we apply different theories, right? There are so many different theories like feminism, Marxism, realism, classicism, romanticism, humanism. Different theories are available. With each theory you come to a different meaning, right? You come to derive a different meaning at the end. In the same manner, if you examine the 21st century, the recent development, and also if you examine the 20th century, then the main five important theories are available with us, and they are new criticism, okay, that you get in the first half of the 20th century. Then you have post structuralism that you get during the second half of the 20th century. You also come across psychoanalytic criticism, Marxist criticism, feminism, and eco criticism. These are some 5 to 6 important theories which are very popular to analyze literature in our recent times. Okay, but today, out of these 5 to 6, psychoanalytic criticism is again important, which we want to discuss in today's lecture. Now remember the name Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud has been considered as the father, as the founder, as the pioneer of this psychoanalytic criticism in literature. Actually, Sigmund Freud was not a literary man. He was a man of psychology. But when he published his book, the title of that book is The Interpretation of Dreams, which was published in 1899. After the publication of this book, many psychologists, they tried to analyze literature from a psychological point of view. Okay, and then later on many people, many critics of literature also followed the line of psychology, and that criticism became psychoanalytic criticism. Okay, now these psychoanalytic critics, they mainly believe that every artistic work, every work of art is actually an indication of or the result of the writer's anxieties and hidden complexes. See, every human being like me, like you, we have our hidden thoughts, suppressed emotions, right? And when we create something, when we, as the author, when I write a poem, okay, then the critic tries to analyze the poem and tries to find out the hidden meanings which are there in my poem, which are actually the reflection of my hidden consciousness. Okay, that is what they believe. So they try to examine the different images presented by the author, different symbols or events or characters presented by the author, and they try to study the psychology of the author depending on their creation. Okay, in short, Freud developed the idea that that they believed that dreams are the symbols, they symbolize something. In the same manner, Freud has compared dreams with the text. He believed that texts are also the symbols of the writer's subconscious mind. In the same manner in which our dreams also symbolize something. Okay, our dreams bring out the hidden reality of the subconscious mind. So the dreams are the guardians of sleep, and they become disguised fulfillments of repressed wishes. Repressed means suppressed. Okay, some of the emotions are suppressed by people because of the society. In the same manner, these suppressed emotions come out in the form of dreams at night. In the same manner, the author writes poetry, drama, novel, and when he writes this, his suppressed emotions also come out in his works. Okay, so this was the basic idea. So there were some writers like Jacques Lacan Erik Erikson, Anna Freud, Carl Jung, Alfred Adler, and these people, they were considered as the major psychoanalytic critiques, right? Now let me discuss this psychoanalysis in literature in detail. Now to understand this, I have taken this line from Tyson, right? Try to understand this line. The goal of psychoanalysis is to help us resolve our psychological problems, right? So the basic goal of psychoanalysis is to resolve, to give some solutions to our psychological problems, right? By focusing on patterns of behavior that are destructive in some ways in the existence of the unconscious, right? Some patterns are there in our behavior, right? They are actually expressing our destructive mind. Let me give you an example. Like, say for example, you are not in good terms with someone, okay, and you want to harm him, you want to beat him, but physically you cannot do that. Why? Because you are living in a civilized society. But the psychologist, the psychologist tries to understand your behavior, and he tries to find out these things from your behavior, that you have some bad thoughts about one particular person in your personal life. In the same manner, these psychoanalytic critiques, they also try to find out the behavioral problems presented by the author among the characters, among some events presented by him in the text, and through that they try to understand the author's personality. Okay, in the existence of the unconscious, the storehouse of painful experiences and emotions and unresolved conflicts. Our subconscious mind is what? Our subconscious mind is a storehouse of painful experiences, okay, painful emotions and unresolved problems and conflicts, and these are brought out by the psychoanalytic critique. So the psychoanalytical criticism actually adopts the methods of reading employed by Sigmund Freud. The way in which Sigmund Freud tried to understand the human mind of the patients. Okay, Sigmund Freud was also a physician. He was a doctor, and he was trying to resolve the mental disorders of his patients by trying to analyze their behavioral patterns, their dreams and all. So in the same manner, the theories, the critics who believed in this theory of psychoanalytic criticism, they also did the same thing. Okay, this theory argues that literary texts are just like dreams. Okay, the texts of the author, they express the secret unconscious desires and anxieties of the author. Okay, just as dreams express our inner hidden thoughts of the subconscious mind, in the same manner the texts also express the hidden thoughts of the subconscious mind of the author. Okay, so one may personalize a particular character within a literary work, but it should be understood that all such characters are projections of the author's psychology. Okay, now Freud writes these lines which are very important. Try to understand. Freud says that the dream thoughts which we first come across as we proceed with our analysis often strike us by the unusual form in which they are expressed. Okay, they are not clothed in prosaic language. When we dream, we do not see the dreams in logical manner. They are disguised symbols. Okay, in the prosaic language, they are not expressed in simple language. They are employed by some strange thoughts, but are on the contrary represented symbolically by means of similes and metaphors in the images resembling those of poetic speech. So he compares poetic speech with the dreams, right? Just as we have symbols, similes, metaphors in poetry, in poetic speech, in the same manner in dreams also we find the same thing. So this is how Freud has presented the similarities between the text, poetry and dreams. Thus Freud believed that the author's own childhood trauma, his family life, his sexual conflicts and his complexes can be traced within his behavior of the characters which are created by the author. In psychoanalytic theory, the idea of the unconscious and the conscious mind, the division of the id, ego and superego and the Oedipus complex are applied. Try to remember these four terms. I am going to explain these terms later in this video. Okay, what are these four terms? Oedipus complex, number one, id, ego and superego. These four terms are helpful in understanding the psychology of the person and in understanding a literary work. Okay, Freud has proposed the idea of the unconscious part of the mind where desires are and drives exist that people are not aware of. Okay, a conscious human mind is hardly aware of his own internal suppressed feelings. Okay, human mind is just like an iceberg in which 10% of which is on the surface level above the sea level, water level, but 90% of the iceberg is not visible. Yes or no? In the same manner, Freud believed that we have conscious and subconscious mind. Conscious mind is the state of mind in which is only 10%. Okay, when we are awake our conscious mind is working, but when we are sleeping our subconscious mind is working. In our wakeful condition situation, whatever we cannot gain because of some social restrictions, these emotions, feelings, desires, wishes are suppressed by us and they enter into the subconscious mind. Now how can one know and understand the hidden and latent emotions and desires? Freud suggests the analysis of dreams. Okay, for that you need to analyze your dreams. He believed that dreams are the windows in the working of the unconscious mind. If you want to examine, if you want to understand the suppressed emotions and desires of a person, then try to understand the subconscious mind, and for that try to understand his dreams. In Hindu philosophy also we have this system of understanding our thoughts by way of symbols. Okay, by way of trying to understanding the dreams. Like you have a dream of a bird, it suggests something. If you have a dream of reading books, it has one meaning. Okay, in the same manner if you have a dream of eating something, that is also meaningful and it means something. In the same manner Freud finds similarities between the text and the dreams. Just as dreams externalize the latent emotions of the human beings, the text also exposes the hidden complexes and emotions of the author. Okay, for that you need to understand these four things: Oedipus complex, ego, id and superego. What are these four things? Freud believed that the experiences of a person's childhood lead to the development of these three divisions: ego, id and superego. Now ego is what? The ego is the conscious part. Right now you are listening to my lecture, you are watching this video, so your conscious mind is working. That means your ego is working. The id is the unconscious or the suppressed desires a person has. We do not know what is there in our id, because id is working at night when we are sleeping. When our conscious mind is sleeping, then unconscious mind, subconscious mind starts working. Okay, so that is called id. And the superego is the conscious, the judge and the jury in the person's mind. Sometimes we take decision we close our eyes and we follow our intuition. That means we follow the judge which is there inside, okay, the jury member which is there inside us. That is called your super ego. Now, how actually do we analyze a work of art from psychoanalytical point of view? Let me give you an example of the character Hamlet from William Shakespeare's tragedy. You see, in this tragedy, Hamlet is not able to take the final decision. Hamlet is not taking action. Hamlet is not killing his uncle Claudius. Why? Because of his own Oedipus complex. Now, what is this Oedipus complex? Oedipus complex is a male infant's desire to possess his mother, right? Right from childhood, when a male baby is in the company of the mother, unconsciously we have developed that feeling with our mom, with our mother, and unknowingly we have enmity with our father. That is a psychology called Oedipus complex. Okay, it is a male infant's desire to possess his mother and to do away with his rival father. So because of Oedipus complex, perhaps Hamlet is not killing his uncle Claudius. Okay, Hamlet doesn't want to kill his uncle Claudius. Why? Because he wants to save his mother. He doesn't want that my mother becomes widow second time. So perhaps because of that he is doing this. Now let me give you another example. You must have read Christopher Marlowe's tragedies, 4 important tragedies. Okay, in all 4 tragedies we find some highly ambitious characters like Dr. Faustus, like Barabbas. They are all material minded people, right? Materialistic people and highly ambitious people. Why Marlowe has projected such people, such characters in his tragedies? Perhaps these characters express Christopher Marlowe's own psychology. Perhaps in his own life, Marlowe had suppressed desire to gain name and fame and wealth in his personal life. So through that character you can understand the author's personality also. So this is how the psychoanalytic critics they try to analyze the work of art. Let me conclude this discussion by saying that psychoanalytic criticism is a 20th century theory which was developed in the beginning of the 20th century by Sigmund Freud. Okay, when he published his book Interpretation of Dreams, from that point onwards this theory became popular in literature. Okay, this theory mainly argues that literary texts are just like dreams. They express the secret unconscious desires and anxieties of the author. Okay, the psychoanalytic critics examines different images, symbols, characters and events which are presented in the text in literature from a psychological eye, and they try to unearth, they try to dig out the hidden meanings and facts related to the author as well as to the text. So in short, it was a popular movement or theory which began in the beginning of the 20th century. In today's times also there are critics, there are readers, scholars who are applying this psychoanalytical criticism in the reading of the text. I hope this video is helpful to you. Please do comment in the comment section whether you like the video or not. Thank you for watching. Thank you.